Yeah. Who's your favorite president?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Really? Oh, he
maybe,
talked
maybe
about
it's Franklin.
speaking softly and carrying a big stick. Who was that?
Teddy.
That was Teddy. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You know what he meant about stick, right?
Yes, I do.
That's a weapon.
Someone called it that.
Yeah, like carrying around a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm packing right now.
well, what are you packing in? Because you're carrying around a big stick.
A big stick.
In an Allegiance holster, right?
Oh, of course.
So, because that's what he meant.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, you don't talk a lot, but you carry around a big stick.
Yes. So check out the Allegiance holsters mankini, and also get yourself a first aid kit. Because if you're not a everyday carry guy with a gun, you should be an everyday carry person with a first aid kit.
Yep.
And you can get them there at allegianceholsters.com. Checkout code TNW10. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you're into big stick diplomacy,
Yeah. What you carry your stick in?
an Allegiance holster.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until it's time to take it out and use it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And check out Tyler and Vanessa's website, compassionateviking.com. You'll find all the things from Tyler's podcast, which is awesome, to all their homesteading activities they're doing, which is absolutely fascinating. And then next summer they will have their forest school again, I assume. And then finally my own Training Northwest, where you won't find any more classes on the website because it's October now. And so until January, you won't see a public schedule, but if you want to schedule a private session, that's available. You can contact me at trainingnorthwest@protonmail.com. And we are also a dealer of Vortex Optics. And if you're local here in Snohomish County, Washington, and you buy a Vortex Optic from us, you get a free range session to get zeroed and run a few drills through your new glass, because part of our commitment to your readiness is that we don't want you buying a new optic, setting it on the shelf next to your rifle or your pistol, because you can't zero it. And anything in their catalog we can get. So modern rifle season opens up here in about 2 weeks. So if you need a spotting scope, binoculars, deer rifle scope, etc., even if it's not in stock on the website right now, just shoot me an email or a phone call, and we can get it on the way for you. And that website is trainingnorthwestllc.com. Jordan, what did we talk about today?
Time. Talked about a lot of time.
Yeah.
And how, son of a bitch, right? Mike, why did you make us do this?
This is actually one of my favorite conversations we've had.
Yeah. Intellectual pursuit is one of my hobbies. Time's always something I'm fascinated by. And to be honest, I like when someone's like, we're in the weeds, it's a little boring. I like to be in the thick of the Vietnamese jungle in about 1965.
Deep in the bush.
Yeah. And it's, it's something you can't even wrap your head around, and then go deeper. And it's like, let's learn how to deep sea dive with holding our breath. And that's kind of what this is, but through thought. And time is exactly what this is all about. Just one subject, and it goes everywhere.
Yeah. Things get a little heady with the Neanderthals here. So,
All right, guys.
Good luck.
Enjoy the show.
Order of time.
Too many books. Limited room for information starts to blow
like
everything.
Carlos.
And
Carlo Rovelli. Yeah.
Rovelli. And who wrote Now?
Richard Muller. Richard A. Muller, to be specific.
I enjoyed Now more.
It's less ethereal in philosophy and kind of more practical science and physics.
Yeah, I feel like The Order of Time did not draw any conclusions.
Yeah, it did.
Did it?
We know nothing.
I know. The conclusion was that we have not gained anything since we started this book.
Not only gained, but we don't have the words yet to fully describe what we understand of time.
Or the dimensional.
And we wasted a lot of it.
Reading these files.
Oh, man. All right, we are live, not on the mats. We're sitting outside because it's a fucking beautiful day on October 1st. And we just got done with some elk tacos in the sun, so we didn't want to go inside. So we pulled out an extension cord and all the podcast equipment, and we're sitting outside at Electric North. And we are here today to talk about 2 books. Mike, what are our books? Because these were your choices, and it took a long goddamn time for Jordan and I to struggle through these.
2 books. One is Now by Richard Muller, And the second one is The Order of Time by Carlo or Carlos Rovelli.
I think Carlo.
Carlos.
Carlo. He's
Carlo?
Italian. They're superior. They don't put the S on the end.
Is he Italian or South American?
I thought he was Italian.
I thought he was South American.
Carlo Ravioli.
yeah.
Come on.
Shit. Lead us into it, Mike, because I felt like a fish out of water. Even though I was good at math and science in high school, and I took a year of physics and a couple years of chemistry and 2 years of calculus, I still felt like I was way into the deep end on this.
All right. Let's see, what's the best way to approach this? I would like to talk about the book now, and then we'll get into Order of Time, because they kind of play off of each other. And like you said, you took some basic physics classes and enjoyed maybe science in school and have a decent understanding of it.
Well, I thought that the Einsteinian physics were fascinating with, as you approach the speed of light, time changes relative to you and other objects and other living beings. And that kind of blew my mind. And then also just the thing I liked about chemistry and physics in high school is that it explained how everything worked.
Yeah.
So we would, you know what I mean? Like I can explain to you why a bullet's trajectory is the same at 50 yards and 200 yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I understand all these concepts. And when I was racing mountain bikes, I think one of the ways I got really good at it is I started thinking about it in terms of vectors, because it's all about track. Like everything you do on a mountain bike when you're racing downhill is about maintaining traction and control. And so in order to do that, it helps to understand that there's a 90-degree vector of gravity accelerating you toward the earth, and then you're creating velocity or acceleration or deceleration in a direction. And then every time you change direction, you're creating a little bit of centripetal force and managing all those forces to keep traction through your tires. To me, that was what sort of lifted my skill level to where I got to where I was a pretty competent racer.
Yeah, in physics term, you'd be learning mechanical efficiency with your body and the bike working as one. And
and there's a lot of translation with that mechanical efficiency to jiu-jitsu, where you're you know what I mean? The hardest lesson you learn as a white belt is to relax. Yeah. Because you're fighting too hard and you're tensing all your muscles. And it's actually the same when you first start downhill mountain biking is all your core muscles that provide balance and stability are all firing all at once, because you're on this foreign object going down a bumpy trail, like threatening pitch, and so in order to stay on top of it, your body's natural reaction is to just tense everything and try to like force the balance. And jiu-jitsu is the same way. When you're a white belt, you're trying to tense everything and just fight everything off all at once. And at some point you learn to relax and become more efficient.
Yeah, that's why, guys with no tanks that have been doing it forever can roll with the best of them for a long time, because you learn to use gravity and where to apply the most, or where to apply pressure to get the most yield for your effort. And
lever arms, like using your opponent's body, like knowing the different fulcrums and using their body as a lever arm. That's another one of those like mind blown moments when you kind of level up a little bit.
Yeah. And that's on why I enjoy the idea about time so much, is a little because it is abstract. The way that we can describe gravity and using it to our advantage in grappling and being heavy and lazy at the same time, or if I have to use physical force, it's easier to, if a body's in motion, to apply pressure and increase the speed of that motion, rather than having someone that's based out and at rest, because you're going to have to take all this weight to overcome the friction, the inertia, weight, all the initials of moving that object. Yeah. But so a lot of physical law can be explained through just our understanding and applied to the sports we do or just normal life. But the idea of time is a very ethereal and abstract concept. We have time in our mind of it's 5 o'clock in the evening, it's, and that means dinner. Or if I put a cup of water on the stove on high, the time is going to be maybe 3 minutes before it starts to boil. Yeah. So we have our understanding of time, but then it's like, okay, well, what is time? What is this thing that you're measuring? What is time? This concept of now, right, that we are living, how do you measure the now from the past or the now from the future? What is this elementary particle, this thing that we base so much of structure, so much of our lives, of science? What is the understanding of time when you really break it down?
Yeah. And the other thing that I like to think about, it's a little more philosophical, is does time exist if there aren't conscious beings?
The observer effect, yeah.
Exactly, because if there's nobody conscious of the passage of time, does time exist? Or is it a effect of consciousness?
Well, and that's what is it? If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
It emits waves, but nothing translates.
But if
into
nothing's
sound, right?
even there to observe it, like, does a rock observe it? Doesn't another tree observe it? But if they don't have consciousness, does it even happen?
Yeah.
Right? If something can't observe it.
Cat.
And that's where time really becomes a factor in comparison to other things.
Yeah.
Is the observer effect in time. But let's this is going everywhere. So let's start with the basics.
Michael brought notes.
Of now. Yeah, some of this stuff you have to. It's too big.
And then he got high.
Then we burned the notes. Rolled them in a joint and smoked them now. No. All right, so why does time exist? I think is like, so what is time? If we're asking what is this thing, well, why does it exist?
And I do think that time does not exist without
No, I
consciousness.
mean in the universe, not in our world. It's a measurement, but why does it exist to exist? Why does it exist?
I don't think it has a purpose. I think it's a side effect
of
consciousness. Because consciousness is aware of the passage of time.
But then, so how does but you need to have space.
Yeah.
For consciousness.
Correct.
Right?
But space and time, there's space-time, but
So
are they mutually, I think they're exclusive too.
But that's the point,
Or
right?
Or that's another question.
No.
Can there be time if there's no space?
That is the point, is that time space are so closely interwoven that the two cannot exist with each other.
Jordan's
I think I see
watching
you staring
birds.
at the sun, literally. He's like, fuck this.
But hang on. Do you think space, I think space can exist without time.
Doesn't work that way.
Why?
Because and this gets more into like the Rovelli of multiple points of space having different potentials until you bring them back together.
They have their different reference frames or whatever, and it can be different, right?
Right.
But I still think space.
That's all based off speed.
Okay, so when you bring those points,
it sort of is, and it's sort of like it's the change in time based on your relative velocity is the same principle. But
It slows. Time slows comparatively to that. That's why I was saying, like,
as you accelerate.
Yeah. So
Yes.
like if you're down at the sea level and you're up on a mountain, time is moving.
Well, no,
slower
that's,
at the top of the mountain, right?
We'll get there.
Hang on. No, you're talking about the same concept, but so time actually, according to Einsteinian theories, time is more dense near a large gravitational or a large mass object. So the closer you are to the center of the Earth, the more gravitational effect there is. So it's almost like
slows
time
down.
Yes,
That's what falling is you're falling down into slower time,
Yeah.
right? And that's why,
Because gravity is pulling time.
but gravity is time. When you have a breakdown, so that's
as
why you
gravity
get
gets stronger. It's almost like time.
Time
So
stronger.
you just
as
built your
gravity
own
gets stronger.
case, but that's why time and space have to exist. To have gravitational waves, you have to have a space for that gravitational wave to flow through. In doing so,
And it can't flow without time because otherwise it would be in the same place.
exactly,
Gravity.
right? So this is gravity. So to create space, right? So this is perfect. This leads into it. To create space, you have to create more time. If you create space, and if you create more time, you have to create space. So, and this is something we kind of see with something called the Hubble constant, which is the idea that galaxies are expanding, and we don't really have a reason for why. But as time-space continues to grow, the space between everything gets vaster. And it doesn't really mean you're getting ripped apart. It means there's more space constantly being created, but then time is also constantly created. And we have a measurement to determine this, and LIGO, right? The gravitational wave detector, right? In like 2016 or 17, we witnessed 2 black holes merging, right? And there's a thing called a blip, which is you're detecting the gravitational waves until they merge together and it's one point, and now you don't have 2 gravitational forces affecting each other. When you had this blip, you expanded time, the measurement of understanding these waves, it was 1/1000th of a millisecond. But what that was hundreds and thousands of miles of time, like the speed or the distance light could travel in that time. That much more space was just created. So what we're seeing is time and space have an interwoven connection.
Was it created or was it released from it?
Because but that's what it is. It's a blip.
Is it
No,
created or expanded?
It just exists. It doesn't not start from a like a fire starts as smoldering and then grows into a huge flame. That's not how this works. It happens instantly, that time, space, these things just exist into existence.
Yeah, it's called a blip.
Yeah. Yeah, a blip, dude. The Goodyear blip. But, yeah, so that's kind of the idea that time and space are so intricately woven, right, that you cannot create one without the other. So then, okay, so now we get into...
Agree to disagree.
Yeah,
no, I'm
consciousness.
I don't actually have like a strong opinion because it all kind of makes sense. And the way I dumbed it down when I was reading through it, like just for my own understanding, was that gravity or mass also compresses time, so that as you get close to a massive object, time actually compresses, and it takes you more time to travel through shorter space because the time is more dense.
So
that's that black hole. Like the movie with Matthew McConaughey. Interstellar.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
In Interstellar, he travels into that black hole, and he's only in there for like a couple minutes, and then he comes home, and his daughter's an old woman.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's the idea, is that as you pass nearer that massive object, gravity is condensing time as well. Just like gravity will crush you. Like if we went to a planet that had 20 times the gravity of Earth, our skeleton would collapse and we'd be smushed into a ball. Well, time is also being compressed by gravity or by mass, however you want to look at it. And the closer you get to a massive object, the more time, like the longer it takes you to get through time because it's more dense, which is that experiment. I can't remember the name of the experiment where they took the really delicate watches up in an aircraft at like 30,000 feet and noted we're talking about fractions of a second, that the difference between what passed at sea level and what passed at 30,000 feet over was like a 5-hour flight in reference frame at sea level.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's perspective once again, or,
relativity.
Yeah. It depends on what you're witnessing the event happen. Gotcha. So, all right. So, I mean, that's the fun part about this to me, is that just talking about one thing, what is time? How many side conversations do you have? Because it's like, your observation or what you think time is.
How many side conversations have you had about this, Jordan?
So many, dude. Yeah. With so many philosophers and scientists.
Okay, so with this, what we're seeing is like this fourth dimension of time-space, right? So why does it always seem like time flows from the past to the present to the future?
Because maybe consciousness is two-dimensional. Consciousness is two-dimensional. Like, think about we have 5 antennas. We have our 5 senses. But sight, Jesus Christ.
Sight, sense, smell, feel, touch, hearing, or well, I guess.
Taste,
smell, yeah.
All of them. It's our umvelt.
This is the science podcast.
Did we list them? We got them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sight.
Taste. Maybe we just lack a sense to experience the true dimension of time.
But that's your brain. That is a sense, is understanding time.
Our eyes are capable of 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
I would say hearing is 1-dimensional almost. It just has a vector into your ear. You can kind of tell, like, through the velocity of the sound wave, like which direction it's coming from. There's a small delay. But hearing's almost 1-dimensional. Touch is 1-dimensional. Taste is 1-dimensional. Smell is 1-dimensional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our eyes are 3-dimensional, and that's the most we have.
But time is right? It's present, past, and future, and you can think about that.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if we had a way to experience the fourth dimension, like a sixth sense. Maybe that's what the sixth sense is an ability to experience the fourth dimension.
Yeah, but we do that daily. You think about what you're going to do
only in 2
tomorrow,
dimensions.
and you remember the past
Or really
of
only
yesterday.
Really only
but
in
you're
1 dimension.
also understanding what you're doing currently. You're talking about podcasting now. You're thinking you have to go to work tomorrow, and you remember the inner tubing ride you took on the river yesterday.
I was not thinking about work. I was thinking about sunshine, this cold Mexican lager.
But that's now.
That won an award at some World Beer Fest. That I provided.
But that was then.
That I provided to this team. That was then. Yeah, that was past. In whose frame?
Yours.
Well, this is happening in the past compared to our listeners listening, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But to them it's happening now.
But now I'm thinking about
They're
We're
listening.
watching your mind get blown.
You guys are listening right now, but we recorded this in the past.
Yeah, we recorded then.
So you know what's funny is we're living somebody else's past right now.
Holy
Think about that one.
Pass that doobie.
Thank you, marijuana.
Do you guys ever hear Liam Neeson jokes?
No.
So Liam
These, like,
Neeson,
Chuck Norris jokes?
Yeah, but he famously has like a big cock, and there's all these.
Hang on.
Yeah,
Isn't that what you guys say about me?
Yeah.
I feel like
Famously has a big cock.
no, there's Liam Neeson jokes, and it's about his big cock. And there's one I love. It's like a time travel thing. It's like Liam Neeson's cock is so big it'll fuck you tomorrow, yesterday. And it's like, yeah, it's perfect. You break down the fourth wall, man.
Yeah. We say that about Jordan sometimes.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. So
This is 8th grade level science.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So why does time flow? Why does it progress? Why is there an arrow? Why does it seem like time constantly goes in one direction? Because on like a mathematical level, or you break it down into the quantum level.
Does it flow though, or because isn't part of the theory that all points in space time exist at all times? It's us or our consciousness who's actually passing from point to point to point to point, and that
you're witnessing it
exactly.
But you're physical. So okay,
so somewhere out there, imagine right where we're sitting right now, 200 years ago, and this was forest. Let's say some dude came walking through with his bow and arrow hunting for deer. Mm-hmm. Like, does that point? It's a point in time in this space. So does that space-time point still exist out there in the universe somewhere? Mm-hmm. And maybe we're just passing. Yeah. I kind of wonder if that's not what ghosts are.
It's that consciousness.
It is an event that. Okay, hang on, wait. This is but that's Rovelli. All right. Okay. So
Mike believes in ghosts.
To get into the complex, you have to get to the basics, right? So why does time...
And can that guy hunting deer fuck you today and tomorrow?
If his name's Chief Neeson. Yeah.
Some people are like, he is. You know what I mean?
I'm still getting it every day, damn it. No, so why does time flow in one direction? Mathematically, right, and on the quantum state, you can write formulas where it balances from present to future and from future back to past, right? Like... 2 plus 2 is 4,
I've
right?
said the same thing for
but
years.
You write that backwards, 4 equals 2 plus 2, right?
Correct.
So mathematically and written, it can go back and forth, but the existence of what you live, time only goes one direction, and you can explain it through the second law of thermodynamics, right? Hot always goes to cold. You can never take something cold and make something hot with it, right? And this is entropy. Right?
Yep.
This is where this book now really starts to take off.
Jordan, go ahead and give the folks a definition of entropy.
Entropy. Where things get hot and then they're cold.
Yeah.
You guys are talking about my junk again.
Fucking entropy. When Tobin learned that word entropy,
I learned that shit in high school.
We
got brought up all the time.
Oh, dude, we went to a little speaking engagement, and Tobin threw out entropy like 3 times to this crowd
at Doc's Pub. And they were like, "What the fuck's he talking about?"
And I was like, "Holy shit, he's doing it! He's doing it!
The book report's working!"
Like, here we go. It was a fucking entropy, brother. Yeah, it was like ice and cold and frozen and slow and entropy, and I was like, holy shit. Anyway,
this fucking guy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Entropy. So
that was fun.
That was a great time,
and it made me laugh because it was
awesome.
It was a speaking engagement that like seven senior citizens showed up to him.
What was it for? You had a topic?
No, not me. It was Greg. He went to talk to like a freedom group at Docks. And so Jordan and I were like, fuck yeah, we'll go support him, right? And I'm expecting like a packed bar. It's just a bunch of
old timers with
I think
blankets
like,
over their laps from World War II.
I think it was like
hell yeah, freedom, baby.
Yeah, probably like not a lot of information was given out before the event.
No, there was not a lot of advertising.
Bunch of old timers, like, yeah, man.
But to be fair, as far as people to go have a couple beers with, the old timers at Docks,
yeah, it was a great time.
That's the right crowd.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Mike. Take us back to science.
Our next sponsor.
I want to hear more about this entropy speech. I like that, dude. When I hear something,
do you want to hear it? It's not a speech.
No, he wrote it, dude. He wrote it down.
Let's go.
It's just my idea of what's going on culturally right now, which is that entropy is a low chaos state, right? There's a lot of order. When there's a lack of energy, a lack of entropy means a high level of order. So let's say you want to change the culture in a country. So through national identity and religion and sports and arts and culture, you have a high level of order in a country. And if you want to destroy that, you have to break that order apart, and you have to create more social entropy, cultural entropy. So you have to inject, and the way to increase entropy is to increase the energy in the system. So let's say you increase the energy in the system by Jesus Christ, fucking bees are all over us. I think it was on my, you advocate social unrest, you promote rioting and just sort of civil unrest. And what that does is that breaks apart the structure of the system. Mm-hmm. And it makes it more fluid, right? Like melting ice into liquid water. You can't reorder the crystalline structure of ice when it's frozen. You have to put energy into it, make it liquid, rearrange it, and then you can refreeze it. Mm-hmm. So if you want to change the culture in a country, you have to break apart the old social norms, the old cultural norms, by putting energy in. And once it becomes more...
getting windy out here, boys.
Once it becomes more fluid, then you can start to arrange the culture the way you want it. And one of the World Economic Forum's mottos is, from chaos comes order. Yeah. They're literally talking about how you break a society apart and then recreate it in the structure that you want.
Yeah.
Entropy, baby.
Well, and that entropy is like...
And that's just a playbook out of the CIA's, or a play out of the CIA's handbook.
Destabilize an area, yeah.
But that has to do with like actual physical things too, yeah?
Yeah, so all entropy is entropy is going from order to disorder. High entropy means you have a lot of order, and low entropy means you have a lot of disorder. So you could think of it in a lot of different ways, right? So high entropy is you have a teacup sitting on a counter, right? Mm-hmm. You throw that teacup off of the counter and it breaks into a million pieces. Now entropy has happened. You have more chaos. The uniform order, what used to be order, is now chaos. And entropy always usually has something that follows it. Normally it's a heat signature, right? So if you have a huge, in the idea of the Big Bang, right? It happened, and you have all this plasma and shit, and it starts to cool. And what's the most abundant element on the periodic table? It's hydrogen, right? So they think it was hydrogen and helium.
You were about to say that, right?
All the gas in after the Big Bang. And so now you have these dust clouds of, millions and millions of miles of hydrogen. But what happens? It all starts to kind of gravity effects. It comes together. And as those come together, they create stars. Those are our first stars, right? But when you have that happening, you're giving off heat, right? The effect of going from tons of order of just scattered, right, hydrogen throughout the universe to now we're getting, that order of cleanness is now disorder. Instead of it just being a blanket of hydrogen, now there's little hydrogen cluster balls, and that's kind of disordered from what we originally had. This pure state of just blanketed, now we're getting little areas that seem to have more disorder happening.
Now, the higher the entropy, and the more order, as far as that goes, creates a more dense...
Wait, hang on. Disorder. Higher entropy is more disorder.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like the disorder and all that shit that's floating around doing crazy disorder shit. When that comes together and it's a higher disorder, creates a stronger order.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is where we start.
Well, it's like the hotter the fire, the stronger the steel.
So even though you're creating order, though, so let's break it down like Tobin was starting to do. So now we have, let's say it's a summer day, right? And it's really hot out. And in our room, it's hot. And we want to cool it down. We want to take all this high entropy chaos warm in this room, and we want to take it to low entropy, and it's more uniformed around 60 degrees and cooler. Well, in an isolated freight or isolated frame, you can do that, right? You get an air conditioner, and you can cool off the entropy of that room and make it nice and bearable. So it's like, well, now I created order here.
When it's
hot. But then once that's all done, you take in the whole situation. Well, now that cold air is going to go hot, and all that energy it took to run that compressor in that AC unit, well, that's putting out a lot of extra heat. So just from making an isolated state of order in that room, you're actually adding more entropy to create those states of isolation and order in a
it took more
contained
energy
frame. Yeah, so entropy is always going to increase.
Doesn't dissipate, it just moves.
And so that's
energy is constant.
Yeah.
And so that's
exactly. It moves, but it never goes away.
Yeah.
And
that's time.
Exactly. That is the arrow of time. How do you measure the direction? And it's what has more entropy. Whenever things have more entropy due to heat getting off, chemical exchanges or bonds, what you're doing is you're changing the level of entropy. And entropy is the arrow of time, and certain things lock with it, like the second law of thermodynamics, because it's the most common. Other things do, but it just seems to follow everything.
Well, and that's why I was saying speed, right? Like that's the easiest way for me to picture what time is. And like the faster you're moving, the slower time is moving, as opposed like in your perception.
Yeah.
Right? The faster you're going,
relative time slows down.
Yes, and that's what the relative time shit. That's a crazy thing to get into, but that's how I think about it, is just speed. And I think about molecules. But it goes to everything. You can simplify this shit to like, chaos, bunch of people moving out. It gets hot. There's more energy in the air. People start moving.
Yeah.
When it gets winter, people fucking start slowing down.
Yeah, they go inside.
And there's a reason there's chaos, right? Exactly. And chaos, like when you have a bunch of people moving around, guess what? More people get hurt and visit people in the, Chandra gets more people in the ER in the summer than she does in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because people are going around and then, so it just shit like that. Yeah. Time.
Look at this guy. Hang on.
Oh, we got a special visitor.
Say hello to the people.
Say hi.
What's up, Podcast America?
I thought it was Podcast Saipan.
Same thing.
Do we need to go get a? Do we need to take
Fourth
a pee
mic?
break and go get a fourth mic?
Let's go
Actually,
take a pee break.
I'll take one of those.
Test.
Hey, all right, we're back, Mike. You're a spirit guide for this episode.
Let's see. Arrow
But
time.
during the break, we
picked up one.
we picked up Will.
More entropy.
Classic hitchhiker here.
So, we'll clue you in. What we're talking about is time. Literally that. What is time? How do you measure it? How do you define it? And where we're at in this, after a half hour, we've gotten to 1 point, and it's time is entropy. Entropy is going from order to disorder. And you can measure that through heat signatures from, if you take the Big Bang, right? And it's one big thing of just plasma and hot gas. And now you have planets, you have stars, you have people, you have pollution. What started as one uniform thing now turns into disorder. But through this disorder, we'll get a little bit of order, what we call life, what we call normal, right? To have a planet, to have an environment that's good.
So they say time is created by the increase of entropy. So what happens if the universe starts, like expansion stops, and the universe starts
that's-
contracting. Will
that's the
we
end.
experience time in reverse? Will we start living in rewind?
Will it contract or will it just
we
fizzle
don't know.
out?
We don't know. But let's say,
Like a
hypothetically,
hot engine
Well,
that cools off doesn't get
something
colder.
something will have the most mass and gravitational pull.
Right.
So at some point,
it does have.
it
to
would have to
collapse back in.
because time, like, cause what did we say? Gravity is constant, or what did you say was constant?
Energy is constant.
Energy. So that energy isn't going anywhere, and everything that we had, this desk is energy, like all that. So if that's expanding and it's slowing in between gravitational pulls, then at some point it would have to be elastic and come back, and we would experience time backwards. What that looks like, I have no clue.
Well, for Podcast America and Podcast Saipan, this is truly what they mean when they say, if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. I'm in the right room.
You're in the right room.
Yeah, I walked into the right room.
Well, we're outside,
we
so
suckered him in with tacos and
so
beer.
yeah, it is.
I think we're all a little bit. We're all swimming in the deep end here today, boys.
Yeah, and I can't swim.
Wait, say that again, Jordan. What was your last question? Say that again. Things are going to bounce back.
So I think that energy is elastic, and it's moving. It's just energy, and like, so when you say the universe is expanding, right? That means time is speeding up in certain places and slowing down in others. So the energy is not, we're not gaining energy. It's just what's out there. And when you say like
the
a
energy
star,
of this universe, though, was given to it in the Big Bang.
well,
There's
the Big
no
Bang,
more
no. The Big Bang was a massive event of energy, and all the energy collected. Boom, Big Bang, everything spreads out now, and it left shrapnel of
just plasma.
one
thing. Just one thing, though.
Yeah, but no, it's not just one thing. It's gravity. It's a gravitational pull. It's plasma of different
But
sizes.
that's your forces. That's
exactly
your natural laws.
and that's what I'm saying. So when that expands, and certain parts are larger and have a higher gravitational pull, now you're creating that disorder. If everything went out and it was exactly the same,
It was.
It would be uniform.
It was.
It wasn't the same. It was chaos. It was
Absolutely.
molecules flying all over the
but
place.
you're-
Atoms flying all
no,
over the place. Particles.
You guys think it's an explosion. It's not like that blimp.
No,
Whoa.
it was almost
No.
more like a snap of
Existence.
beginning. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Which
and
is why one of my favorite quotes, I think, from Carlo Rovelli, actually I think he was quoting somebody else, is he's like, scientists believe in everything measurable and quantifiable except for they need a miracle for it all to start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows
I've
you.
been saying this.
Yeah. Finally, we got one.
Yeah.
But that's what it's not like. But that's if the Big Bang was
I just
the
want you to
lowest
tell me
point of
you're right.
entropy. If the Big Bang was the lowest point of entropy, it couldn't have been chaos. It was chaos.
No,
in
it was.
existence
That's what I'm
in
saying.
Primal gases.
It was the point
It was
at which the
singularity.
chaos was erupted, or it was singularity. It was order. It was dense matter, and it, boom, exploded. I don't know what that would be. I think
It
maybe
didn't
so.
explode.
It
though.
just snapped into existing, which
Yes.
is, again,
It's called the balloon theory, which is better than we have than Big Bang, which is you think of like a balloon getting blown up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Think of the existence of the Big Bang not as a blowing up, but that
Suddenly the balloon was there.
Was there, right? It's not
Except
like
that
it's,
doesn't fit with the expansion model, because if it's
I
Yeah,
think
it
it
does.
shrunk. I think it shrunk down to the smallest a bit, and then because it got so curled up on itself, it.
But that's the thing.
And just-
Energy can turn to mass, and mass can turn to energy. So if you have the most condensed and most energetic mass, it can be the smallest pinprick. So that to have existence, it can go from small to big, but it's not like expanding. It's taking that energy and it's
Expanding.
there. No, it's called inflation. It's
Which
not really like
expands.
it's not like inflating a balloon, though. Like that gravitational
Well, no,
wave where you create time-space. That time-space isn't...
Could we agree on spread out? Because if you have all of the energy and it's a it's the smallest thing, which I think is what was the singularity that was the Big Bang, right? Right before the Big Bang, right before that happened, all of the energy was nothing, right? It was just...
It was dense.
And then
it was everywhere.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so if something is in one place and then it ends up everywhere...
Do you know what time folding is? Do you know what a wrinkle in time is or time folding?
I got a
folds
different
in half
question.
And then you can fucking stick the pin through the thing and you're like,
Kind
I'm
of,
traveling
but
through time.
No, hang on. Wait, I got one question because we're talking about the singularity. Do you think it's possible there was a universe inside the singularity?
Mm-hmm.
Not it.
So there would have been a universe before this universe.
Yeah, but that...
But where did that one come from?
Now you're in...
Is it just one series of...
It can be, that's bubble universe idea.
Sounds like high school. One series of bangs. Like
Inside the outside?
Yeah.
But that's bubble where universes butt up to different universes. That's multi-paradoxical universe theories. I mean, these are all actually, no one really knows what
Like
we're
the
trying...
multiverse.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
why-
multiverse
that's
wasn't
why-
one after the other. I'm saying
No.
Yeah, no,
prior-
it was happening all at the same time.
There's tons of universes.
Yeah, just, there was even a girl Spider-Man.
I buy off on that one. But what if before this multiverse, there was a multiverse inside the singularity?
Yeah.
It was infinitely dense to us, relatively. What if inside the singularity was not relatively dense and there was a whole other universe?
Yeah.
Man,
Dude.
we should have eaten mushrooms. we made a mistake.
Where's off?
I went to the restroom. What were we talking about?
Singularities.
Singularities.
So...
I guess, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
So what are you saying?
That... Okay.
Explain the bubble time, because that's what I'm thinking is like everything was here and then it was just instantly everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
In an immeasurable way, things expanded. And you're saying it expanded so precisely uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Then what I'm wondering is where were...
How was entropy increasing?
How did we... Well, yes, exactly.
If it
How did we end up with
entropy?
If we had
maximum entropy.
Why are there different planets? Why is there the sun and our,
Right.
Why are those things? Because if they were so uniform, you were saying that there are other universes identical to this one, and there's a checkerboard of perfectly laid out, everything's the same, and then that's where we have multiple universes happening at the same time.
Yeah, but...
Oh my God. Yeah. I did it, guys.
Now, okay, so just keep it pertain to one. Like, there can be others, but let's try and break down ours, right? Mm-hmm. So...
There's patterns, but there's a different gravitational pull and different time to the Earth versus Mars.
Yeah, but Earth's bigger or smaller compared to Mars.
Comparatively.
But everything has an effect.
Yes, but I'm saying is if we're saying gravity has the ability to slow time to your relativity or whatever, right? Like if that's the case, thank you. Then things couldn't have spread out perfectly even. And that hot magma,
that's how it goes.
Was going out in different sizes, in different...
Not hot magma. So everything just existed instantly, and it's plasma, right? For like the first hour, which is like the first couple billion years of our Earth's existence, it was just hot, dense plasmas. And as that cools, right, certain areas start to cool faster, some go slower.
Why?
Just that's randomness.
Well,
that's
but if everything had expanded
when God
made
then
they should have cooled and heated. Yeah.
What the fuck are you laughing at?
I know.
So when you say the balloon expanded, so like the balloon, if it did expand, that's like what is the firmament?
Yeah, the outside. But that's
Is
the
there-
radio cosmic.
Well, hang on. Yeah.
So no, that's
He was trying to make a joke, and fucking Mike's like, yeah. No,
so that's a
keep
radio
going.
cosmic background. That's what we measure.
What's at the edge?
That's what we're
Is
trying.
there a
Potential.
firmament?
Is it can just as far as you see that light can travel? If it's 14.3 billion years, how far does light finally travel?
Oh, I
as
see.
it's
So
creating,
light from
but now
the
we get
origin-
into paradoxes,
Yeah.
right? So as
Okay.
Well,
Hold
hang
on.
on. So is the universe?
This is
the edge
we're
of
not
the
gonna go
universe-
anywhere. We're going everywhere but nowhere at the same time.
I have a question. Damn it!
All right.
Is the edge of the universe, however many light years have passed since the Big Bang? Because
Yes.
light just continues to travel, and it's the traveling of light from the Big Bang that is expanding the universe.
yes, and then
I am fucking smart.
yes. Now we're getting there. But so
What are you laughing at?
That's why I'm your friend.
Yeah.
that
People are at work right now going, these fucking
I have
assholes.
a mortgage and kids. Why am I putting this in my day?
That's what I go through. Like listening to you guys, it's like after, it's like, what the fuck did I just listen to? But it's I love you guys, so I stay on. You know, I stay on.
Yeah, he's like, there could be a gold
There's
nugget.
something for me here.
Yeah. I always love when Will
that's
comes
why
in.
we
He
can't
says
break the-
something from the podcast and
Yeah.
just looks at you and you're like,
He shakes his head in disappointment.
yeah. I love it.
All right, Mike.
All right.
You're back up.
So as time's flowing, right? We try and measure it through entropy. That seems to be our best measurement of the arrow of time. And that's something that is important because it's like you can't go back in time, really. Like you maybe could one day, but time always seems to progress. Why does it progress? And it seems like entropy is the best answer, right? Entropy is the best measurement for time. High order to go to low order usually produces heat. It produces thermodynamic reactions.
But shouldn't going the opposite direction requires time?
Energy.
It requires a
and you're going to
progression of-
to take something hot, make it cold, like that AC room. You're increasing the overall entropy
right,
of
okay.
everything together. So entropy is the best way to measure the arrow in which time flows. Second law of thermodynamics really gets after that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's kind of what this whole book now was about, is how you measure the arrow of time. And how thick was that book? And all that does is try and answer that question.
Yeah.
But so now once we get into time, well, now starts to get into Rovelli. This isn't Rovelli yet, but I'd like to start going into paradoxes because now we understand what time is. Now we understand
Do we,
that
though?
you can manipulate time. Yeah,
Okay.
you can.
Let's get into manipulating. I would say I don't know that we really do understand what it is.
We do and we don't. But from that perspective of that's like Einsteinian theory, right? General relativity, right? Now that we understand what kind of time is a good measurement for us in our language and understanding is to put time is entropy. Well, now let's take things like photons and start to understand time a little better. So one of the best things that I can think of creating these paradoxes was Einstein's pole barn phenomenon, right?
Hang on. I'm wondering if this is Brett and Kyle showing up to practice together in a very small SUV.
Oh, he's got a little corsage in a plastic box.
Is that like a Ford Fusion?
Is this them?
It's a Prius.
Please
let's
tell
be
me it's
honest.
them.
A lot of emphasis on the Fusion.
Oh, dang it. It's not them. Son of a bitch.
It's one of them.
All right. Is it?
That's Kyle.
Yeah.
He shaved his head? Where's Brett?
He just got a brand new Jiu-Jitsu Gay t-shirt and he's put it on.
With his pink Crocs.
Where's Brett?
I gotta find a new gym, dude. Look at these guys.
No, fuck it. I gotta kick them out. Why the fuck do we have to be?
Yeah, why do I gotta leave?
Yeah, fuck that. We'll fucking
I hope they
expand.
listen to this.
Oh shit,
Oh,
dude.
man. All right, Mike. Sorry. We keep cutting you off.
That's good. This is a weird one to talk about. So Einstein's pole barn theory.
Oh, this one I struggled with a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
did I.
Okay. So the idea is, say you have a barn, right? And the barn is 20 feet long. On the front and the back, you have 2 garage doors that open and close on it, right? And then, so that 20-foot long barn. So now say you have a pole, a big long pole that's 40 feet long, and you want to fit this pole into your barn. How would you do that?
Run fast.
Exactly.
Right.
When you start to go fast, things shrink. Right? This is where we start and getting paradoxes. And this is what gets all you guys going down every rabbit hole. It's still
relativity, because it's length measured as a function of velocity.
Hang on.
From a fixed point.
Because it gets more dense.
So if you...
Entropy.
And it gets smaller because it's more dense. Because the matter that makes it up is moving faster. So it gets more dense. That's how you can shrink a fucking 40-foot pole and get in a 20-foot barn, dude.
Okay,
I've done it, bro.
So, but this is a paradox. This will never work. You can make it small.
This is theoretical, but you can put a fucking 2x4 over your shoulder and start running, and you're going to hit that door.
So once you approach the speed of light, things will shrink down. When you take that 40...
I'm pretty fast, Mike.
When you take that 40-foot long pole, right, and you approach a speed of light, it's going to shrink down to, say, maybe 3 meters.
Only as observed.
And you can fit that in there, right? So that barn, say that barn's alive, it has eyes, and it sees this person coming at it near the speed of light with this pole, and it's saying, well, that's
that only
small...
works from a 90-degree objective as well.
Hang on.
So if you're running at the barn with a 0-degree... objective, that pole doesn't shrink.
You know what Liam Neeson always has to say?
He goes, tomorrow, yesterday.
Don't worry, baby. It'll fit. I just got to go fast.
A special set of skills.
I just got to go real fast.
I have a set of skills. I can fuck you today and yesterday.
Yeah. Well, he goes, it'll fit.
It'll fit. I'll make it fit.
I just got to go fast.
Yeah. But as you approach the speed of light, it will shrink down, right?
If you kidnap my daughter, I'll fuck you yesterday.
Oh,
so fast into today.
Oh, man. Oh.
Sorry, dude.
Poor
Sorry.
Einstein.
All right.
Poor Einstein.
Pole barn theory. So the faster you run faster, you move faster. Go.
Right? That pole's going to shrink. Say that barn has eyes and it's looking at that pole and it shrunk, right? So it says this can fit in here. I'm a 20-foot long barn and this pole will fit in me. So
what a whore.
Yeah, right? It's a very horror barn.
That's not horrible.
But then you take the perspective of the pole running, or say someone's running with that pole, right? And they're approaching the speed of light, but to them, that pole hasn't shrunk, right? So that barn is actually the thing that's starting to shrink and get distorted, right? So as each thing approaches the speed of light, you're going to have different variances due to what you're witnessing. This is what you guys keep saying.
Well, that's why I say it's only true from a 90-degree perspective, because if you're running straight at the barn, or the barn's looking straight at you from 0-degree perspective,
it's going to be off.
Yeah, Mario.
But that's what I'm just saying, like for the listeners, right? If the barn is witnessing this happening, it's not, or that observer standing right next to the barn, it's going to seem that this thing is shrinking.
Correct.
But for the person running, they're not
they're going to
shrinking.
smash that pole into the back door of the barn.
Right. But for the person running, they're not shrinking. Say they have a radio and they're running and the people by the barn are saying, dude, it's going to fit. It's going to fit. And the person running is saying, dude, I don't feel shrunken. Nothing feels shrunk. And this is where we start to get discrepancies of time. And like we said earlier about LIGO and witnessing those two black holes hitting, and instantaneously, like the Big Bang, we didn't slowly create more time-space. We created time-space due to those black holes colliding. Tons of energy, tons of gravity, distorts.
Entropy.
Right?
Colliding.
Exactly. And it's creating more time-space.
But not more energy. And that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry. It just doesn't seem like it can't create more energy, and that's why I think that it will expand and come back.
You're probably not creating energy, but a black hole is something we don't fully understand yet. We just know that it's so incredibly dense, it rips holes in time-space. That's why the closer you go to a black hole, the slower time goes, into the idea that time actually stops. It stops when you pass through the event horizon, because that's where our physics break down. Right. We have all this is understanding what we can observe from our understanding of our universe and our tools for measurement. This is why time's interesting, because this is how we rationalize time. What time is in the full complex, like the scheme of things as a law, may not be what we're understanding, but we're starting to get these nuances closer to understanding how to really capture it, understand what it's used for. And as human beings, that's our best trait, is manipulating matter. The more we can manipulate the matter in the environment around us, it sets us on a higher playing field. The bows that we have compound today are a lot stronger than, the stick bows of the past. Mm-hmm. And so starting to understand this and really where time is, froth.
Yeah.
Take a break.
He's getting excited over here, folks.
But that's where the time thing gets interesting, and these paradox start to really be like, if we have an understanding of time, well, now how are we able to bend it, and what does that bending mean? And that's where this book now leaves off, and you start to pick up into Rovelli's Order of Time.
Okay, so are you leading us into the folding of time? Is that where we're going? Or did we already
just
pass
like
that?
the pages?
No, that was just an example for Jordan to be like, if you fold time space, you're taking all this area. You want to get from this point to that point, right? Mm-hmm. And you're collapsing.
Yeah, the fastest
And then
way
when
is...
you uncollapse it, it's not you're slowly bringing it.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah, it's a knee bar, dude.
Right? And that's the same idea of hyperinflation theories and stuff like that. It's not expanding out. It's blipping, like those two black holes hitting and creating time-space instantly. That's kind of why it's interesting.
They're just printing more money. It's not making more value.
It's Bidenomics in the universe, dude.
Did it create more time, or did it just create did it reduce the density of the time around it and let it expand a little bit?
No, but if you're expanding it with space, you're creating time. The two
explain that to me one more time with the...
We're not creating new energy.
The folding of time or the bending of time.
But all the energy's already been put into this
That's
world.
What I'm saying. Can you create new time without new energy? I'm not sure you can.
I don't know that. I can't.
So if the energy of the universe is constant, then maybe the amount of time is, and it's becoming less dense as the universe expands.
But all you're doing with this stuff is manipulating it, right? You don't have to create something to manipulate or change. I've said it before, like, we are not things, we're the events, right? And if there's a finite amount of energy, then all this change plays with the energy allocated to this world. Like, to have these things happen, you don't have...
Well, the biggest events in your life are the ones that have the most or the least amount of entropy. Yeah? Like, that's what creates huge events.
Wait, say that again. The least amount of... Yeah. No, it's
actually... In your life, when you're doing crazy shit, guess what? You're going to have a lot of stories.
It's the creation of entropy that creates experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But that's events. That's the things happening. Mm-hmm. Okay, so...
What's crazy when you start thinking about memory involved in this?
Yeah.
And what does that mean?
Yeah,
right.
But that's...
What is my
past
memory?
And future,
well, what is the thought that I am having?
I imagine we're getting there. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Or do you want to work through it?
No.
Or do you want to let's go straight into past and future?
I mean, are we doing book reports?
No. Keep going. Keep going,
Mike. You're doing a good job.
Because
okay.
You're doing a great job. I read through both books.
See Spot run. Spot is in the future.
Spot was in the past.
So, Order of Time, Carlo Rovelli, he broke it down into 3 parts: the crumbling of time, world without time, and why we created time for the most part. So the crumbling of time. This is where it starts to get fun. The crumbling of time kind of means that we know nothing about time itself.
Agreed.
Right? Time is kind of an illusion. So us sitting here, having this discussion, sitting around this table, I'm looking at you saying this is happening right now. But what I'm getting is the sunlight hitting you guys right?
Yeah.
And then you guys,
seeing me
those
in the
photons
past.
bouncing off and registering in my eyes.
Yeah.
So what you're doing right now to me is actually what you're doing a
What I did.
millisecond
Yeah.
ago.
Did you see me
right?
flip you off?
So what I'm doing here is
Yeah.
actually not what's currently happening. I'm picking up on
True
the
or false?
past.
I just pulled my dick out at you.
Yeah.
It wasn't big, so it only did take a fraction of a second. So.
A lot of entropy there.
But that's where we start to break down this time. What is reality? Are the things that are happening now really happening now? I'm looking at the sun, but that sun is 93 million miles away, and that takes 8.5 minutes for sunlight
Fact
to
check
reach.
him on that.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Yep, I know.
I got it tattooed on my lower back is what he meant to say. But that's where it starts to be the crumbling of time is not what it really seems to be.
But it seems like it's what it was.
Exactly. Yeah, but that's what
Jordan looked so happy when he said that.
Yeah. But that's what human beings are is we're pattern
So it's
recognition.
accurately a representation of what had happened.
But it's not now.
But it's not
now.
now.
Never exists.
Oh, no.
Now is always
the
slipping.
crumbling of time.
Nailed it.
You followed all that, right, Will?
Oh yeah.
So, and more things to start to go towards that. We spoke about it a little bit earlier. Gravity affects time, right? And you said it, that mass affects it. The way that it affects it is mass has an effect on gravitational waves, and it only does it through having time space as a factor. If time space is this huge, it's a bed, right?
Yeah.
And the more mass you have, it's pushing down on this bed, right?
Correct.
So what that's doing is it's distorting the time space around it. Gravity does not compress. All this is doing is distorting things. You're creating, that's why that
it rolled up on each other. It rolls. It doesn't.
Yeah, which creates distortion, right? It's not crumpling. It's creating it to flow at different volumes. That's why the black
still
hole
causes it to take more time to navigate. Right?
but not
So-
compressing because you're stretching out that space
I gotcha. So
of time space.
See, well, that's kind of,
Because it's elastic.
I get
Yes.
what you're saying, but like when you're saying it's the opposite of, or you're, I see what you're saying.
It's
Okay.
not
So,
compression.
You're
It's
increasing
stretching.
the distance
Yes.
to get
You're
through the same amount of
distorting
time.
through
But if
creating
you
new.
increase the distance to get through the same amount of time, is that not the same as compressing time?
No,
Or
but
am I
it's
saying you're
think of
expanding?
wrinkle in time.
I got you.
Right?
We're
I'm
talking
distorting it.
expanding space-time.
Yes.
It takes longer to travel through space-time.
That was a breakthrough, buddy.
Okay.
You got
There
it.
we go.
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
Will.
Jordan, did you get there?
Bro,
Yeah, dude,
I came
I'm
in
in-
here.
Dude,
I'm going to go ahead and rub my belly button in satisfaction.
I came in here with some Johnny Cash energy, and my dad, dude, that motherfucker, he should have raised me on Pink Floyd. I need to fucking find a different strain of weed and start microdosing mushrooms, bro.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there.
All right.
I'm still trying to learn English.
Hey, that makes two of us, buddy.
I was going to say, Mike Kozak's on the same.
Dude, just come
same
over to my
path.
house. I'll help.
The biggest word I know is
Fucking,
convoluted.
Convoluted.
Debauchery.
Yeah.
Michael.
One day, or if I have a kid, you know, he'll listen to this or she.
No. Will and I are going to talk to you about that before you.
You can have mine, bro. I just went to
and
Costco
then-
with Arya. We're passing. She's riding on the cart, and she's like, "Dad, what? These Indian people? What's that dot on their head?" And they all looked at us, and I pushed her to the side. I said, "That's a push start." And then I told her, I said, "Don't ask questions so loudly."
Inside voice.
Yeah, inside voice.
I think it's all good. I actually like it when kids ask that stuff in public
Yeah,
places.
they're-
I remember
they're-
Nathan.
They're innocent.
Yeah, we were standing in line behind a black guy at the supermarket, and he goes, "Why is his skin so dark?" I was like, "He has," and the dude was cool. He turned around and he's like, "Same as yours." You know what I mean? Let him touch it.
Yeah.
And I was like, he has more melatonin in his skin. It's a chemical. And
Something to do with the
If-
equator.
if more people would just be open to talk about it, yeah, exactly. Yeah, he likes the sun. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
so you don't
it-
need one, bro. You can borrow. You can borrow mine. She loves Costco.
Traditional.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Sorry, back to it.
Crumbling of time. Just distortions, right? And so this is where it starts to get weird in the Carlo Rovelli. Like time, so like we were saying, mass affects gravity, or having high amounts of gravity, very dense mass, will affect your time. And so we look at our own world that we live in, and you can start to see through satellites, and GPS would be the biggest indicator for me due to hunting, right? If I'm on the ground, I'm going to follow my GPS to my little hunting spot I've got marked, right? So those satellites that are in low orbit around us, well, if we have a clock and they have a clock, or say we have two clocks, right? I have one and the satellite has one that's
Identical clocks.
Identical, and they're set together. And we're going to go launch the satellite up in the air. Well, I check my clock a month later and I get a reading from this clock up at the satellite. My clock is going to be a little faster than the clock that's in space, right? And this is something they account for. Your GPS, to monitor where you are, they have to plug in a formula for time dilation for that height. Otherwise, just that minute, and maybe, I don't know what they're at, 120 miles or something for those low Earth orbits.
In universal terms, it's very minute.
It's very small, but if you were to not plug that time dilation constant in there, your GPS would be throwing you off hundreds of miles, because the speed at which light goes from that satellite to Earth, if that's not calculated and with dilation, it screws up all your trajectory. Yeah. So now we can start to see that even though we both exist on this world, living in different places can give us a different perspective. Say you live on the top of Mount Everest, in that same thing. You're born with a stopwatch and someone else is born with a stopwatch. And or say you're both born at sea level and then you live the rest of your life at Mount Everest. Technically, you're going to live longer than the guy that lives at sea level, even though you're both here on Earth, right? And
you'll experience time, like if you both die at 65, you will both experience 65 years, but he'll be gone before you, despite the fact that you experienced a full 65 years each.
Yep.
No, because 65 years is longer by the water.
We all know that.
Yeah.
That's, the island people say it all the time, right?
Yeah. Island time, dude.
Yes, sir. Island time. Kozak knows that.
What's slower, Kozak time or island time?
Fucking Kozak time. It's like Kozak time on fucking Pacific Standard.
Oh, man.
Time, dude.
Dude, it's a trippy concept.
It's fucking wild is what it is.
All right, so as we continue...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
With the time dilation calculation...
nice.
that comes down. What is that calculation doing? It's accounting for what? And like why is it
the difference in it's like true frame
it's
reference frame.
But why is it called time dilation?
Because
like expanding of...
Because it's dilating. As time goes down, it's slower. As it goes up, it's quicker.
Right. It dilates and
it's
it takes
quicker
longer
only
to go
because our Earth affects, due to the large mass, it affects the gravity, right? And what that gravity does is it distorts, like we're saying, it expands. It doesn't shrink it or compress. It just creates more time around it that fucks it up in the way it moves. So if you were to go to the center of the Earth, gravity would be much more intense because you're so close to the center of the mass. So if you're at the very center of the molten core, you're going to have a slower time than you would.
Which is
think
wild
of it this way.
when
So dilation, if I'm talking out of my ass here, but I would define dilation as the increase in distance between 2 points. So if you think of those 2 points as points in time. Let's say January 1st, 2023, January 1st, 2024. Dilating means you increase the distance between those 2 points.
Yeah, you get your eyes dilated, they expand.
Exactly. Yeah. So as you get further away from a massive object, time dilates, meaning you have more space between those 2 points. It will take you longer at your velocity to travel between them. So you will even though you're traveling to the same point, it will take you longer to get there.
But it'll take you longer.
You will experience the same duration between the 2 points because you're still traveling between the same 2 points.
Yeah, but
as somebody who's not dilated,
Yeah, and
Right?
and
But they
the
will-
longest. It's like shooting across a canyon, right? The wind has a greater effect in the middle, so as you get from point to point, time will speed up in the middle of that dilation.
I don't think I
So
follow.
I'm
It
So-
will remain. You will travel at your velocity.
you will travel at
between
your
two points,
your
at a fixed velocity.
yes,
but
but
the
your
further away
reference
from a massive object.
the longer you're in the middle of those objects,
Yes.
or the
Time
not the longer
slows.
time slows. So that's what I'm trying to say is like as you shoot across a canyon, if time is wind,
Yeah.
it will have the great. I guess it's the opposite of that.
It'll
It's
be-
inverse.
In the
The-
wind,
Yeah, the
all
bullet
the
will be pushed
dust
by
in-
wind for a longer duration, right? So it like I don't know what the fuck
All
I'm
right.
trying to say. All I'm saying is at one point you're going to be going faster
Yeah.
in
If you went from
Relation-
planet
No,
to
no, no.
planet,
You will not go faster.
your
You will
time
both
will
travel-
slow.
Imagine because
Your
we're all traveling through time at the same velocity. So
Yes, but I'm saying your
think
time
of it like
will
dialing
slow.
a scope ring,
Uh-huh.
and if you dial it out, distances between things increase, and so
If you're
someone out in space, they're going to travel between the same 2 points
Mm-hmm.
as someone on Earth is. It will by the time the person out in space gets there, the person on Earth will have reached that point in time and continued on to the next.
yeah,
So then if you were to come back to the same true frame,
Mm-hmm.
it only matters if you come back to the same true frame. If you don't come back, it's all the same. It's only if you return
Yep.
to that,
Yeah.
or sorry, the reference frame.
That's
if
what
you
I'm
return
saying.
to the reference frame, then the person who stayed where time was undilated will have advanced so many, like think like a monopoly
well, the
board.
further you
They
get
will have
away from
advanced.
mass relative to somebody else who's experiencing the same time, it's going to slow for that person that's still on the where your starting point was until you get
Opposite. The person at the high gravity point.
if you're moving
will-
between Earth and some other planet, right? Your time will slow down
correct.
as you get the midpoint of the two planets
Yeah.
is going to be the slowest time that I perceive you traveling at on your trip. You will have the same time relative to what you're doing because you're traveling it. But for me, as you get in between the 2 points,
Yes.
that's going to be the slowest point of your travel.
I'm not sure if that's accurate or if it's uniform the entire trip.
It wouldn't be.
I
It would be
the easiest way
uniform
to,
for you.
to quantify this, bro, is when you're gonna have a kid. You just watch as she gets dilated. Then the time that kid goes out through that
Uh-huh.
through that hole
Yeah, that barn.
for that moment in time. Yeah, you're experiencing that exactly
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
describing.
And it is slow
Yeah.
when it is dilated. And that shit
Yeah.
gets burned into
Number 2
time.
just about walked out. It was like, holy shit, here he is, and he's out.
Am I not making sense?
No, I think I know what
I'm
you're
not
asking.
sure.
So you're
I'm
saying
not asking. I'm saying like
you're
this is what's
saying,
happening,
yeah.
right? Like,
so if you went from, say you're going from planet to planet,
Yeah.
and you leave our planet, and time is slow, and as you move away from our planet, that
It's gonna
time starts to speed
relative
up
to the person
our
still
planet.
on.
Yep.
yes,
Yep.
and as they get to that next planet, their time will slow because they're getting
Nope.
to a denser.
Could be lighter, could be denser.
well, if
so
that,
then,
two equal planets,
yeah.
you travel. It's
But they're
gonna slow
different.
down. You're moving.
If you were to just go to space and come back, it would affect you, right? The clocks would be different.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go to space, go to another planet, come back to space, then go back to our planet, it'd be even more convoluted.
Yeah, because you stopped your
Because you
you
moved.
decelerated
Yeah.
Different
and
points.
stopped. and
But
then
you could have a guy go out into space and just do circles, while another guy goes from our planet to space, goes to a planet, meets up with the guy going
And
circles.
he created more folds.
Well, everyone's clock's going to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you're getting it.
Well, I know I'm getting it. I'm trying to explain it. And
I actually like the idea of a game board, which is that the further away from gravity you get, in the same amount of experience time, you will move more squares on the game board than
Yeah.
somebody who's closer to a large body of gravity.
Yeah.
With the same amount, and
'Cause
you will-
less
and
distortion
you will,
of
you will
time,
experience.
space.
You will both experience the exact same passage of
because
time.
it's the most stretched out.
But you will
Yeah.
you will advance if time points were squares on a game point or a game board.
Or it's the least stretched out.
It's just least
It's the-
distortion
it's the
of
least-
time,
yes.
space.
Well, it's just like when that guy takes the big ass. He's got like trampoline, and he puts the bowling
Bowling
ball
ball,
in the middle
yeah.
and then rolls that thing around. That's
You're distorting your path.
Yeah.
A straight line path is now distorted somehow.
Exactly.
And you're
Instead
stretching
of
out the
driving
material.
point to point in a straight line, you have to drive, make a 180-degree arc, and then go straight again.
Yeah, that's why round things fuck with like mathematics.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is getting crazy. All right, let's keep going. Start to wrap up maybe.
how long have we been rolling now?
We're at like an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
It's
We're
a
going
long
good.
time to hear this babbling bullshit. Are you kidding me?
If anybody's still listening,
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's mental masturbation, as I like to say.
Dude, I finished a while ago.
All right, so in Rovelli's idea of crumbling of time, what we think of time and stuff, it's not what we actually understand. I'm seeing you guys in the past, not currently in the present. So the next world without time is something Rovelli brings out in the second part of his book. And he starts to, it's as simple as that, is imagine living in a world without time. And why he does that is because he wants to emphasize not the physical material things of life, but the events in which those things go through or occur, right?
Yeah.
So you have a rock, right? And it's just a bunch of mass. It's just particles and atoms and the natural laws of chemistry.
We've ever had.
Yeah, natural laws of chemistry and the bonds that hold it together, right? That rock is a rock not because of what it is, but because of that moment in which it exists and that these natural laws are happening, right? So it doesn't matter what the thing is. It matters what's happening at the time. And so that can go back to, say, the Big Bang happened, right? And then you have this cooling off of plasma and you get hydrogen and you get your first stars. Well, that mass that you're made of, right, is the stardust from that primordial ooze. You are the stardust of the past, right? It's a hippy-dippy thing to say. But what matters is what that stardust is doing at this time.
I'm a future star.
I had, sorry to
You're
interrupt
good.
you, but yes, I follow what you're saying. In line with that a little bit, I had a science teacher in 7th grade tell me he was worth more than us.
Show me on the doll where he touched you.
Yeah, right here.
Right on stardust.
Hang on, show me on Mike
Yeah.
Kozak where he touched you.
Yeah,
How much entropy he put in you?
a fair bit. No, he was. It was funny because he would give a shit. He was like, I'm worth more money. We were like what? He was like, I'm more valuable than all of you. And we're like,
Except
bullshit.
For he's
And
not
he was like,
considering future earnings.
well, no, he wasn't talking about that at all. He was like, I am bigger, so if you burnt me,
Put off
the
more
matter that I have,
Oh yeah, the carbon.
the carbon, is more carbon than you guys, so I'm worth more.
Yeah.
So all you fat people out there, hey,
You're doing it right.
keep on keeping on.
But yeah, so what matters is what's happening, right? So just the way that we're that stardust in that rock, right? So that rock is important because of what's happening right now. You give that 1 million years of time, say that rock doesn't exist. It breaks down, it becomes something else. But those atoms, those will go into something, it's attack crows.
Jesus.
But those atoms will go into the next thing. And what matters for that thing is what's happening at that time to almost give it consciousness, to give it the existence. So you can take things such as physical, like a rock, and you can also take things as an action, like he says, a kiss. There is no difference, if you think of time, between a kiss and a rock, right? Because both of those things are the events that are happening now.
At the moment.
At the moment. And there's no distinction between the two, because to make a moment happen like a kiss,
in one minute moment.
it's two moments of existence. It's two beings
But there's
doing
more
it.
energy in one than the other. So
the rock has more energy,
Yes,
right? Because it
100%.
lasts much longer than the kiss.
But to have
Yes.
those kiss, you have the people, right? But once again, entropy. That kiss is giving off heat
Sure.
due to
Oh,
lips
yeah.
pressing,
Yeah, it is.
right? And so you're showing time. And what matters is what's happening during this time's entropy.
You guys think I could shoot a crow with a 9mm?
about to find out. Let me tell you, I've just picked up a kiss, a rock right here. You know, doing this outside was a great idea.
I still love it.
And now
I
we
love
got
it.
that nature. So
This is so much.
everybody loves a crow call.
Listen,
You know what I mean? If you've made it this far
Yeah.
and you're going to complain about a fucking crow? Oh, man.
that's real.
Entropy.
I do feel bad about that, though.
All right.
For the audience, you know?
I think we're about out of notes, boys.
Are we out of notes?
Oh, shit.
We might be out of topics.
We might be out of time.
Let me
What's your
flip it.
hang on, Kozak? You've been thinking about this far longer than any of us.
Yeah.
What are your personal conclusions?
My personal conclusion is that time. Dude, what did you?
That was Dan's trailer.
Dude, I heard that crunch through the headphones. What'd you hit?
That was Dan's trailer.
Fans.
Oh shit!
Okay, you're gonna be sleeping tonight. It starts raining. It's gonna be leaking.
Oh man, there's some things we can't explain
Yeah.
about the dynamic here at Electric North. You just got to experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
What'd I learn? What'd I think?
About
What'd you guys
Personal
learn?
conclusions. What is time? I personally think that time is a side effect of consciousness. That without consciousness, there is no time.
Yeah.
And
Jordan?
it's a.
Sorry.
No.
Keep going.
I don't really. I'm talking out of my ass. Go ahead, Jordan.
I think you're right in a
I
way.
think
I think you're right.
the only way in which to interpret time is a consciousness.
Well,
Because
and-
we don't know what a rock's. I think a tree has consciousness.
Well, what if
That's being proven
Yeah.
by like the trees that are getting eaten from giraffes in Africa send some sort of a pheromone or thing through the ground. I don't know what exactly they're using, but then it turns the leaves on the other trees more bitter. That's consciousness.
Yeah.
That's an effort to survive.
Yeah.
And that's what consciousness is, I think.
Well, and there's like
Increased time.
the mycelium network is fascinating, where like a tree that has, I don't want to say birth, but like its seed has flown or floated like a mile away, and a sapling tree has sprung up, and if that sapling
Oftentimes
low on
being carried by
nutrients,
a bird.
then through the mycelium network, the tree that spawned the sapling will send nutrition and energy, and that's not woo woo, hippie bullshit. That's been proven by studies at
That's a
Harvard
scientific
and Stanford.
fact.
Yeah, exactly. It's a scientific fact. And where I was going to go is we experience things in 3 dimensions, like height, width, and depth, right? But what if we're actually 2-dimensional beings, and that's why we only experience time as a progression?
Can't.
Like maybe our 3rd dimension is false. It's only
But you don't
it's a trick of our eyes, and there's also significant evidence that the universe is a hologram being projected out of a 2-dimensional existence inside a black hole. So maybe we are actually 2-dimensional beings, and that's why we can only experience time
What if we are
in one direction.
in that
But no,
pinprick of the Big Bang?
I don't know. Yeah,
And
maybe,
it is
maybe we're
projecting.
inside the next singularity.
you don't think of time as only one direction, because that means then you couldn't recall or have thoughts of the past. If time was
With
only
memories.
yes.
Well, hang on. This is
And
the-
that's
how
there we
this
go.
is the
There
next
we go.
subject.
Yeah.
What is a memory? Because we have no memory of the future. We
because it
only-
hasn't happened yet.
But we have
So
a
then time
but the
is
past-
one-dimensional.
But the past has
but
happened.
but we
And you
have an
can
idea of what's going to happen in the future, which is where people
due to
fear
the past, due to the memories. You only know the future because of the past. If you have no data, you can't predict the future. You have to have understanding of what's happening now and the past to predict the future. That's why it's interesting, because what hasn't happened yet, we rely of all the old entropy.
That's what I
That,
said.
yeah.
memory.
But yeah.
So what is memory?
So the more
Time.
memory you have, the more understanding of the
the
future
events,
you will have. as
because
well.
memory is events. You're remembering
So if you
the
if
events.
you can't remember, you're fucking.
Oh yeah.
doomed to-
Yeah. But then what is time then? If you can't remember, then what does it matter what time it is? Because you're living in a world without.
No, with no memory, then time doesn't progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also there's this anticipation of the future. So what is memory and what is anticipation?
Well, that's what I mean. Like when you look forward and you have a fear or a not necessarily a fear, but I guess, a fear, because you're moving off of fear. Like, I'm driving a car and there's something in front of me, I will turn because I know if I don't turn,
You hit the tree.
I'm going to hit. Yeah. So
But
there's a
that's-
fear of hitting this or that. So as you're steering into the future, you're operating out of a fear, but
that's what the third part of Rovelli's book is why is time the way it is? And I think he nailed it because we constructed it because it has to fit our model. As human beings, the way our brain works, it is beneficial to think about the future and what it can have due to what happened in the past. Planning for hot summers and cold winters is part of that planning idea. And to understand what it means to have a kid and where you'll be in 40 years and maybe where they'll be. Like, we've created this model, this understanding, because it has to fit what time really is. I don't think we have the words or the correct definition. We are in our infancy, what we've learned in the last couple hundred years, to what reality actually is, and we're getting better. But I don't think as humans we fully understand what it is or have the tools or words to fully describe it. We all say,
we won't until we have a
feel.
database.
Yeah.
Until we're that, what's that Tyler's thing where they're trying to turn everybody into robots.
The AI
Oh,
takes a
that's another
singularity.
Yeah. Different
And-
singularity.
But that's until you find that, then you won't experience it.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to tell because you won't have all of the memory.
And this is what I say all the time. I'm like, dude, just the fact that you add numbers and they always add up to the same thing, or you take water at the same elevation, at the same atmospheric pressure and temperature, it boils at this thing. Time is something that we are on the press of understanding. And just like those things, though, it's something that's written. It's a rule. And I think time has so much of a factor. I think the word evolution and time are the same thing. Like I say, we don't have the right understanding or the words for these things, but how we see progression and how we see isolated systems, right? You're talking about the frames, the way we can cool off the room with the AC, but it adds more overall entropy. You can use forms of entropy to create more order, less disorder, even though it adds to the chaos of everything. I think evolution and creating these bubbles where things progress and you have random mutation, this is part of that fourth dimension of time that we don't understand yet, but we're starting to move closer because so much time affects our life. This time of year is when the crop grows. This time is how long it takes for a chemical reaction. This time is how long it takes a light photon to travel from the sun. So as we're understanding this and really breaking down what time is, I think it gives us a better understanding of just the order of the world and how we place ourselves in it. And to me, it's a last frontier. That's like the fact we're able to have this conversation with no definitive answers. This is what the most brilliant people in the world are discussing. And they're bringing in math.
Yeah, we are.
They're bringing in philosophy. They're bringing in natural sciences. Look at animal function and compare it to natural structure. But this is it, dude. This is everything.
Well,
Hang on. I was actually going to say the same thing word for word.
Verbatim. Just learned that word this morning, boys. Verbatim.
Yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
when you start experiencing time as we are experiencing it, why is it sometimes on the same level and everything that you experience time and it feels longer?
Yeah.
So I'm in pain. Time
Oh,
is
yeah.
slower than
Yeah.
fuck.
Or when you're
Yeah.
bored.
I need to get somewhere. Time is flying. I'm worried.
Yeah.
I have fear.
Yeah.
Like, so what is that?
So maybe, again,
I think
time is a side effect of consciousness.
the
Because-
more you have the fear,
Yes.
Yeah,
the,
but
the
the more in
time's
hurry
going.
you are, the
also
faster
put it
it's going
into
by.
this, like put it into relativity. The faster you, if I'm watching
the farther
something
you're looking
go,
ahead.
So maybe we should all try to live
No.
on Kozak time.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
he's relaxed.
If you're on Kozak time,
Dude,
you're never late.
I'm never
Yeah.
stressed.
Have you ever been late in your life?
no,
Never once.
because he's
No,
right
never
where he
once.
needs to
I'm
be
on
when he
time.
needs to be.
Right there, right when
Yeah.
he means to be.
No, Jordan, you brought up a very interesting point, and I think this goes to the perspective, like going to the pole barn thing. Like, if I'm sitting here and I'm watching something go to the speed of light, it's going to compress in size. If you're living your life and traumatic events are happening, sometimes you get in a car accident and you're like, I saw the windshield and I saw this other car turn and all this stuff happen. And that happened in maybe 2 seconds, but you have 10 seconds of understanding. The faster things go in your mind, the longer they last. If you have a slow, boring day where nothing's happening, there's no chaos, there's no fastness of the input that's being put in your life, it takes forever. Just like the car going 1 mile per hour. It's going to take forever to get there, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's the same thing with, like you're saying, like existence and observing and consciousness, is that when you have fast things happening in your consciousness, a busy day, a busy week, you're like, Jesus Christ, it's Friday already, you know? But when it's a slow week, you're hunting, it's kind of like, well, I did this today and it was nice. And then, I reflected on the other day. I had a nice, full, long week out in the woods. Mm-hmm. But if you were chasing animals that whole time and it's like, oh, I shot one, but it got away and now I'm over here. And you're like, oh my God, I was here a week. I felt like I barely touched it. Mm-hmm. I think time, the perception, and these laws that affect time that we're talking about, when you apply them into your life and apply speed and how that affects your variability with time. And I mean the speed of your life, what's happening in your daily life, emotional life, the things you sign up for, it's going to make things feel faster or slower. And just something as silly as a book like this, I think you can apply.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And that's why, like, it's interesting when you start thinking about, like, emotions and what that does for you in your life and your relative feeling on time as it's moving, because it's not changing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's not changing, but it certainly feels like it. And then, people are like, oh, time speeds up. And it's like, is it speeding up, or are you getting more responsibility? Is your emotional baggage building?
It's going faster.
Yeah. And
your life is going faster and faster
maybe,
with more to do.
Because
do this today, pick up the laundry now. And
exactly.
Then,
but then that's where you look at people when you go on vacation, it's like, oh, today, and then you look back on it, you go, oh shit, it wasn't long enough. The weekend wasn't long enough. Yeah. How nice was it to hang out with the guys and just like bullshit? Like, yeah, as you're experiencing it, kind of feels like it's taking its time, but then,
And at the same time, it's like when you have good times, it's like you don't want it to end.
It's over so fast.
Yeah.
And then you can start Monday with like a shitty day, and then you have like childhood trauma.
Yeah.
It's like that shit that happened a long time ago. Like you said, it slows down.
Yeah.
And it sticks with you for
a long time. It's hard to get. Yeah. And it's like, does the speed at which we live our lives kind of have like a correlation to the speed of the things around us in life?
Yeah.
Like that's how I have so much gray hair.
Yeah.
I'm living a little too fast.
But
it's not that you're living too fast. You're busy and you got stress and you have things that you're not supposed to necessarily have to experience. Or we're adding this thing that speeds time up, this weight to life that doesn't necessarily need to be there. So when you look at people who can relax and are just kind of chilling, it's like they just seem light and airy and just like, it's not so fucking like like life isn't just fucking heavy and like harsh. It's like, oh, we're fine. Everything's good. Like, and you see a weight to them that's less.
Well, hang on. That's
lesser.
Interesting, because sometimes I wonder if I were less driven, would I be happier?
I don't know that you'd be.
I don't think so.
Happier,
I know some people
I bet you. But I bet you that your time would feel longer.
Yeah,
for sure. I haven't been bored in years.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Will's.
Yeah, I think
he's happy.
Yeah, I think your time would
he's happier
feel
than a monkey and shit.
like it would like it would last longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, but that's who you are, and that's what your consciousness wants, right? Like, you're driving for things, and not to say you shouldn't, because you should, but I think at the same time, there's times
I'm
where
also unhappy with slow time. I don't like slow time. I get antsy.
yeah, but you
Yeah,
slow
but you
time,
live
but that's
more.
but that's you, right?
Right.
And you're creating,
Right,
like
right.
we said in the beginning, like those memories that you're.
Yeah,
or I guess.
I would live
But he's
more,
also
but I'd be
living
fucking
more.
like,
Just the same.
well, that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to say is you're creating wrinkles in which
I'm
in
fitting
time
more
where-
into my short
He's
time.
living at the top of Mount Everest, where the other guy's living at sea level. If you're fitting
You're
all
moving
this stuff
more.
into your
Yeah.
40 years, where someone else is fitting
living more.
few things into the 40 years, you're speeding up time.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting more time out of life through experience.
Between
and
my
what
2
did we
points,
say
I'm putting more
earlier?
in there.
We're events. We're not the
Yeah.
things. We're the events. So if you create a life full of events, right?
Yeah.
You're creating a robust, diverse life that is
Yeah.
rewarding and memorable. That's
Yeah.
why it's fun to be here, is
All right.
because people are doing stuff.
That's how I'm going to justify not being able to walk tonight because my back's all locked up.
yeah,
It's like I put too much in there.
yeah.
yeah,
Diverse life, huh?
blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
Um,
I don't know. Time, I've
I-
always liked it. It's a weird subject. No
No,
one
it's-
talks
it's
about it. It's one of
fascinating
my
as shit.
my favorite things to think about.
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's just
It's even more fun to talk about.
ain't it
Right, Jordan?
Ain't it though?
I don't think we solved the fucking
No,
thing
fuck
here.
No.
But neither did any of those books by the leading experts. Like their conclusion
Yeah.
is that we don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And these are the guys who are leading in the field.
I
right?
think
So-
I got a better grasp, to be honest with you.
And actually, I got a little more clarity because I was pretty confused. Like, I would have to read 3 pages and then back up and think about it and reread it and then kind of go, ooh, I don't know. Let's see if the next 3 pages bring a little more clarity.
Yeah.
And sometimes they did, sometimes they didn't. But I was definitely swimming in the deep end with these.
Well, it
Yeah.
was putting me into like rabbit holes where I'd like start thinking about what they're talking about. And it's like, oh yeah, that
See,
and
but that's
relates
why-
to that, and that
But
relates
those
to that.
rabbit
Like,
holes are fun.
oh, they're fun as hell, and that's why I was
like
telling.
reading this
I
kind of stuff.
text Mike and I was like, dude, I gotta. And I obviously I'm an Audible guy, so I'm listening to it, and then I'm like, I got fucking 10 minutes in, and then all of a sudden I realized I've been listening for a half hour, but I've been thinking about the first 10 minutes, so I gotta like go back and then
But it's
Yeah,
interesting.
like,
Like,
Chandra, I want to put you in a trebuchet with the stopwatch.
Yeah.
We got a little experiment here.
hold on.
see, but right now I'm reading a book on Ulysses S. Grant. It's like, it's cool. It's about the Civil War, but it's like, it doesn't make me have tons of questions.
Yeah,
Where
yeah, yeah.
this, it's like,
Just reporting
these
facts.
are unique thoughts that come out of my own head from reading this stuff. It kind of creates like,
Because it gives room for interpretation of what is actually happening, as opposed to when you're reading a history book, it is like, this is
Yeah.
how it happened.
This happened.
Yeah.
And then this happened.
So you're able to play with that.
and it's more rewarding because it's like, I read that book and it's like, cool, I understand that. But then I read this and it's like, I have more questions, which makes me like it more.
Yeah.
It
When-
wants me,
well, the
makes
other
me
thing
want
I
to
like-
understand
When I
it.
was a kid, I used to take like 70 milligrams of Adderall and do math.
a beautiful mind.
And dude, you want to talk about fun?
This explains so much.
You want to talk about having a good fucking time? I would be so high on like endorphins and Adderall that I would like skip lunches and just sit there and do math because I was like, I feel so
It's fucking
good
Rain Man.
right
Yeah.
now.
Oh.
And in
Did
that,
you get an A? Please tell me you got an A.
Oh yeah,
C+.
look, they
Yeah, if
they
you got a
didn't
D,
grade me.
but
They
you're
didn't
like, I
grade
love
me.
it.
They were just like, Jordan, you got it, you passed, bud. Everybody in that 8-person class passed,
Even the guy with the helmet?
especially the guy with the helmet. You mean our valedictorian?
Prom king.
Yeah, Frocking. Yeah, the flyboy. What?
They actually mounted his helmet for him on his graduation plaque.
Yeah, they bronzed it. I was like, oh, I got third. They're like, fuck.
And I only did that with one nut.
Yeah. They bronzed that too. I asked for it.
Fuck,
I asked
that'll
for it,
look-
and they were like, "No, sorry." I was like, "What do
wouldn't
you
give it to
mean?"
you?
No, they wouldn't give it to me. They were
shitting?
like,
That's
"Yeah." I was like,
yours.
"Biohazard." I was like, "Fuck you,
Biohazard? Oh,
Bio.
biohazard.
Yeah, I was like, "It's not a
Biohazard?
biohazard. It's my nut." And it's in another room right
Yeah,
now, which
it's in a
feels
jar.
very strange.
Yeah.
You know, think about that. A
Would
part
you be
of
wearing it on a necklace right now?
I'd probably keep it in a little satchel.
Yeah.
What if you sleep under it?
We'll go to the hardest worker in the room.
testosterone that thing was producing was wild.
All the wrestling kids at Juanita, like, hardest worker in the room.
I got Jordan's nut this week.
Yeah. He said, I worked my nuts off.
Literally.
So that was our book report.
Yeah. What the hell was I going to say? I had a... Shit.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
No, it was about the thoughts you get from thinking about something like this versus cold hard facts of history or whatever.
It's challenging. Yeah.
I can't.
Well, there's room for interpretation of what you think, so you can go down the rabbit holes and have a wiggle room in which to like actually like explore ideas, as opposed to like you think about. I read a history book, and the interpretation I get is like, I wonder what it looked like in the scenery that they were in. That's where my mind goes when I'm like doing any history stuff. I'm like, what did it look like? And that's my imagination trying to build a scene at which it's happening. But that's it, because everything else is just dialed. And then when you listen or read something like this, it's like, holy shit, like there's so many different possibilities that this could be, because it's actually not figured out. So there's no true anything, and we don't have a comprehension of what, that fourth dimension is, and it could be anything. So you can your mind can wander in so many different directions, and it's fun.
Isn't that kind of the fun part about jiu-jitsu? It's like you never have it all figured out. If you had it all figured out, you'd probably quit, but...
Says the black belt.
Yeah, but I'm the first to admit, I suck, man. I get tapped out by people all the time. Maybe I put myself there, but no, I don't. It happens, and it's part of like you're figuring out this game that you don't know all the answers to.
And it would be boring if you did.
The day I figure it out and I tap Greg out every time, it's like, I'm done. Why?
I can't remember if I told you guys this or if it was on Greg's podcast, but the day I lost interest in mountain bike racing was when I won a race.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's not that interesting anymore.
Yeah.
Because
kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't.
And then I ended up.
It's hard to have that drive. It is hard to have drive when you kind of like have an understanding of things, and that's why like I think a lot of people find
challenge. And so coming to Electric North 3 years ago was what I needed, because it's a new thing that I'm bad at, and there's so much to uncover and to unlock.
Yeah.
Yep. Especially hip mobility.
That might never ever get there.
Just listen to our podcast, the last podcast on Endless Endeavor.
Oh, there's a lot of hip mobility in there.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, I'm not eating enough ass. Actually, I think I am, but.
Well, on that note, guys, leave us a review, and we'll catch you all next time. Bye.